All right, let's take a look at slow dancing in a burning room. I strapped on the Tyler for this one. It just seems to have the sound for that, that intro. Here is the intro, does this. So, three chords we're dealing with here. We're dealing with C sharp minor 7, an A, an E. The intro is taking care of the outlining that part of the chord. There's the chord. And we're sliding in on the A string from the 9 to the 11. And he's using his hands, his fingers for this one, so it's very much got that flesh sound. First finger takes care of the G string on the 9, just there. And then our thumb comes over for the root note on the 9 on the E string. The strike there is the top of the chord. It's just a C minor trident. The chord is just there. 11th fret on the D and 9th fret on the G, B and E. Also part of the sound is the vibrato when you hit, you hit those notes. You want to try and get that sound together. If you haven't done that before, it might be slightly tricky. This coming down in thirds. We got the D. It's the D and the G string, and we got the 11 on the D, and we got the 9 on the G. Then we go down to the 9 on the D and the 8 on the G. This is just across the two strings on the A and the D string on the 11th fret. Take that down 2 frets to the 9. And there's some you're sliding into those shapes as well. So from the very top, slightly slower. Then we go down to the A and the E's. This John Mayer is holding the root note with his thumb. I can do that, but it just seems easier to hold the open A string and do this little hammer on the G and the B string. This is the 5th fret on the B, 4th fret on the G, and we're hammering on to the 6th fret on the G, and you get there's our E shape there. Thumb is taking care of the low E. We've got the 3rd there, which is the 6th fret of the D, and second finger taking care of the root note at the top there, which is the B string on the 5. So we get. Then we go back to our area on the C sharp minor up at the top here. It's not the same, and this time he does he slides in on the D string, whereas before he used the A string. Now he's sliding in on the D string. Same frets, same deal with the thirds. And then we got a lovely little. Again, he is probably holding this root note with his thumb, but it's a lot easier in this case. This chord here is, if you bar the 4th fret on the A and the D string, you got the root on the 5th fret. So far we got, and we're even holding the G string there, and we're hammering on. This is the D string. We're hammering on the 4 to the 6 on the D, and you get. That's the sound within the chord. Basically, that's the D and the G string. Lift your 3rd finger off, and lower part of the E really. This is a C-shaped E, and you really want just the low part of the chord. Bottom 4 strings. There's little fingers taking care of the A string on the 7. There's the 6 on the D, the 4th on the G, and there's the root with my first finger at the top there on the 5th. So, whole intro, slightly slower. Also, another aspect is the vibrato he gives. If you can get some of that on the chords down here. I would naturally go for my whammy bar, but I'm not allowed to do that on this DVD. So here we go. It's all in the hands there. Once the harmony guitars kick in, we lose that motif and it just grooves around the chords. If you imagine the C sharp minor there, this is the movement, A to an A6. So the groove, let me just play the groove behind the harmony guitars. So the main criteria really is the little flicks. This is if you imagine a position 1 C sharp minor pentatonic, these are all the notes you can groove with. If you've got the root just down the bottom there. So if you can get that on each chord. And this is just a triad, an A major triad. We got the 7 on the D, 6 on the G, 5 on the B. The sound you want is the A to the A6. To the E major. So I'm just creating an A6 by putting my little finger onto the 7th fret of the B. You get the A6. And then we go to our little E triad, which is the D on the 6, 4 on the G, and 5 on the B with a low. You can even put just in case you hit that A string, which I've been doing a couple of times here, you can hit that, just hold the whole chord. So we get this groove, imagine a sort of a Hendrixy groove. The very last round of that vocal on that verse, he goes back to the intro motif where it does that. Also, overdubbed, you may not be aware of it, but overdubbed on, just pick up my pick for this one, overdubbed on this part throughout that verse. There's a groovy just a little chink chord that goes. It's like 4 strikes on that C sharp minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it sort of gets louder, and it just adds to the vibe of it. You're not aware you're hearing it first of all because you think it's all one guitar, but it's actually a little guitar going. It's a very small guitar sound, and it just sits in with John Mayer's groove guitar that we've been doing up to this point. That's the intro and the first verse.